everyone, and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 25 books I want to read in 2025. I have it written down so I don't forget. Also, most of these books are like books that I own that I'm like, I really need to get them off my shelf. And then some of these are like books that I've had on my mental TBR for like a really long time, and I'm like, okay, I think it's finally time to read them. I don't have very many like new releases because how are y'all finding these? I don't understand how anyone is finding 2025 new releases. Besides, I looked up like 2025 new releases and I got like the popular new releases of 2025 through Goodreads, but that's all I've seen. There's like a handful of them. How are y'all finding them? Please let me know. I would love to know. I really want to know. Anyways, so I have 25 here, obviously. So let's just get into it. Alright, so number one. I found this the other day. This was in the popular new releases of 2025. I think by the time you're seeing this, though, it will have come out yesterday. It's supposed to come out January 14th. So, it is Watermoon. I'm going to put them up here, I hope, in editing. It is Watermoon. I'm not sure what this one's about. The cover, super cute. Kind of like a urban fantasy kind of vibe. It also gives, you know, it also kind of gives like Before the Coffee Gets Cold vibes, where it's like not super high fantasy, just has a little fantastical element to it. There is a word for the thing that I am trying to say. I can't think of the word. Magical realism. That's the word! I think it's kind of more of a magical realism rather than like a full-fledged fantasy. But we shall see. I will read a little bit of the description for y'all. It says, on a back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see only a cozy ramen restaurant. And just the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. Wow. Like, it definitely sounds like it's going to get really good and intense and make me feel some things. So I can't wait to read that one when it comes out. The Peculiar Garden of Harriet Hunt. Again, this one, it got me with the cover. But it says, true magic is found among the bluebells and brambles. Oh my god, that little snippet just sounds so cute and so much like me. On Storygraph, it says like a historical fantasy. Fun and exciting. I don't know much about it, but the cover got me, and then just the fact that it's like a garden. Anything with gardens or flowers or whatnot is like all sorts of my vibe. Next is Sister Snake. So this is about like two sisters who were once snakes. And one lives in New York, one lives in Singapore, and like they can't out themselves that they're snakes or anything, or like I'm gonna gather bad things would happen. So the one of the sisters starts getting a little like nervous about the other one and is like, oh please don't out us. So the New York sister ends up going to Singapore, and yeah, I think from there it just like the story develops. Not too sure what it's about yet, but I can't wait to read it. My next book is Little Woman. I do own this book and I'm just so ready to read it. Like I said in the last video that I uploaded, I talked about this book. I want to read it basically because I really want to watch the movie with Timothée Chalamet. I know I am so basic for liking Timothée Chalamet, but I don't know. There's something about that man. There's something about him that gets me. I don't know what it is. So I really want to read it for him. I also like Florence Pugh, and she's in it too. So this movie just seems all types of my vibe. And so to watch the movie, I want to read it first. Plus it's a well-beloved book. So I just need to read it. I need to get it over with. I need to read it. Next is A Winter's Promise, another book I have owned for God knows how long. Like I have previously mentioned, I bought this book because of Draco Talk. Unfortunately so I did. Yes. But still, I bought it. I need to read it. I think it's gonna be good. I mean, it's a French translated novel, which I've never read before, so exciting. And it's a series, and I have been lacking reading series recently because I'm just sometimes getting into like a 7-book series is just a little much for me. So I've been like not really reading series that much, so I kind of want to get back into it. I want to get back into a really big and developed world. So I'm hoping to read that one soon. Next is Days at the Motoseki Bookshop. I have been putting this one off because I want to go to the location of where this book is based. There is like this book town here in Tokyo, so I really want to go there, just feel the vibes, go to a cafe and read the book. So I've been putting it off for specifically that reason. And so this year I've decided it is time to go. I need to get on a little train, go to a cafe, sit my ass down and read it. That's all I need to do. Thank you. Next is The Living is Easy. This is a book about, I think, one of the first published Black women. I think. It says on it. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. So this book is like one of only a handful of published novels by Black women in the early 40s. And so I really want to read it because I'm not very like good with history. The education system did fail me. And so I've decided that this year is my year to learn. I want to learn more. I love to learn personally. And so I decided that's what I'm going to do this year. So I've gotten a bunch of books that I think will help me learn more about the world. Next we have Once and Forever. This is a collection of short stories. So I want to be reading this just throughout the year. And that's basically it. That's why I want to read it this year. Because I just want to read it from January all throughout the whole year. See when I finish it. I don't know. But I just really, really want to read it. Now this next book is a book I have seen everywhere on the internet, and oh my god, since I have heard about it, I think I saw Sarah without an H talk about it. I have wanted to read this so incredibly bad since she talked about it. It is I Who Have Never Known Men. It just sounds so good. And after I saw her video, I saw a lot of other like booktubers talking about it and bookstagram people talking about it. I don't really go on Book Talk, otherwise I am sure they're also talking about it. So if you've never heard about it, I will kind of read the description for you right now. It says, deep underground, 39 women are kept in isolation in a cage. Above ground, a world awaits. Has it been abandoned, devastated by a virus? Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only vague recollections of their lives before. But as the burn of electric light merges day into night, and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. The women who will have never known men. Oh my god, whiplash. Like, that sounds so good. The concept of it, so interesting. And I really want to read it. That's it. And everyone who has read it has said it's so good. So I just need to read it. Nettle and Bone. T. Kingfisher is an author I have been wanting to read. Two of my favorite booktubers, Sarah without an H and Riley Marie, love T. Kingfisher. They always talk about how great her books and how just like fantasy they are. Like, they're so fantastical, but like classic fantasy, fantastical. And I just need to read one of her books, and they have said that Nettle and Bone is one of the best, so I am just going to read Nettle and Bone first. Sorry for this whack-ass way of showing you the next book, but if I didn't do it this way, this video would have been a 24 books of 2025. Yeah, that wouldn't have made sense. I don't know why I forgot to put this book in, I just did. But this is Carmilla, and it is a sapphic vampire novel, and I think it's like one of the first vampire novels like ever. Like, it predates Dracula, and yeah, I'm just like super excited to read this. That's it. Thank you. Next is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have been wanting to read this book for so long because so many people love it, and the thickness of it just scares me. But I think I'm gonna get it on audiobook so I can just like listen to it casually throughout the month. It's just easier for me that way, and I've been needing a new audiobook, so I think I'm gonna do Babel. I'm really excited to read it. I've been wanting to. I've just been very intimidated by it, and I just think audiobook will help me. Next is Legends and Lattes. If you know me and watch my channel, you know I need to read this book. I have talked about it for so long, how much I have wanted to read this book in the autumn and just haven't. I just haven't. So this year it is time. I'm either reading it now in the winter time and just saying screw autumn, or I'm gonna wait till autumn, but probably gonna read it in the winter time, because I swear if I don't I need to read the book. Everyone loves it. Like, they say it's so good and such a cozy fantasy, so I'm just so excited to read it. I don't read too many cozy fantasies, so I really want to try. I just need to read it. It's that simple. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I want to read it. I just haven't. I don't know what's wrong with me. Next is Before Your Memory Fades. This is the third book in the Before Your Coffee Gets Cold, like, series. So that's basically, yeah, that's why I want to read it. I'm on the third book. I need to continue the series. That's why I added it. Circe. This book has made its rounds on the internet. So many people love it. So many people have talked about it, recommended it. I've seen it so many times. And I've always been like, yeah, I'd like to read it. But I never actively picked it up or put it on any sort of TBR list that I had. I just always saw it and was like, looks good, sounds good. I think I'd enjoy it because I do love Greek mythology. I've always been very interested in it. I do want to read it, and I've decided this year I'm reading it. I'm reading it this year. It is the year for me to read Circe and understand the hype. Next is The Wolf and the Woodsman. This book has been on my phone's TBR. I had a list in my notes apps for books I wanted, and this book has been in there, oh god, for almost 3 years now, but I've just never got it. I don't know why. I think it's because it was at the top of the list, and my list started getting so long that I got overwhelmed with it anytime I looked at the list, so I usually just stuck to things that were at the bottom of the list. So I just always passed over it. I don't know why. And this year I've decided it's time to read it. I keep saying that because it's true. So many of my books I have been just putting off on reading, or just have kind of forgotten about when I go to pick up a book. And I need to stop. I need to read the books I've been dying to read. If you know me, you know I don't really like Beach Read by the one and only Emily Henry. But I really want to like her. I want to like her books. I really do. So many people like her books, and everyone said Beach Read was the best, so I got Beach Read, and I didn't like it. So I have decided it's time for me to give her another chance and read Funny Story. This is what everyone's saying her next best book is. Also, the plot of it does sound really interesting. I'm sure you've heard about it, but both of the main characters are in relationships. They get broken up with, so their partners can become each other's partners. So those two decide, let's live together, because we got nowhere else to go. And then they fall in love. That sounds interesting and fun. And so I really do want to read it. It's time. Let's give Emily Henry another chance. She deserves it. The next book I have on this list is Autumn by Ali Smith. So she has she calls them seasonal quartets. So there's 4 books, clearly. There's autumn, spring, summer, and winter. Yes. Obviously not all this year because autumn is the first one. So I do want to read the first one this year, and then I'm hoping within the next year I'll finish the rest. But I've just really been wanting to read them for some. I saw it at the bookstore one time. I was like, that sounds fun. I'll start it this year, obviously in the autumn time, so you'll have to wait you'll have to wait for that. Ali Smith will have to wait. But yeah, once autumn comes around, I am reading that book. Next is Anatomy. Again, if you've watched my channel, you know I need to read this book. I keep saying I want to read it in the autumn time, and then I don't. I just skip right over it. I read other books, or my TBR jar doesn't pick the book. I just need to read it. I think I will wait till autumn time again, and if autumn comes around, y'all better be screaming at me, read the fucking book. Read Anatomy, because I need to. Okay? So please scream at me when autumn comes to read that book. Next we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo is another author that I do quite love. Six of Crows duology and the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have read both, and I'm like, it's time for me to read another one of her books. I really need to. I've liked her other books. Why not read another? I think she's a phenomenal writer, and her world building is really good. So why have I not read another? I don't know. This year I will, though. I will be reading The Familiar. A lot of people say it's good, and so I'm excited to read that one. Femina, A New History of the Middle Ages. This is a non-fiction book about feminism in the Middle Ages that you don't usually see very much in history books or textbooks or whatnot. So yeah, I'm really interested in reading it. I think I will audiobook that one too. I digest certain books better through audio. And I definitely think that this one will be one. Okay, my next book, I can be honest, I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but I think it's Prenesi. I think that's how people have been saying it, but I don't know, I don't remember. This was a book that people are like, go into this blind. It is the best book ever, but go into it blind. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into it blind, not read a single thing about it, and just hope that it just changes my life like it has for other people. I think it's another like Greek mythology book. At least that's what the cover is kind of giving. I don't know, but that's what the cover's giving. A Darker Shade of Magic. This is a V.E. Schwab book. It's time for me to give V.E. Schwab a try. So many people love her books, and I've not been too interested in a lot of her books, like plots and whatnot. But this one, I am. I saw Jack Edwards recommend this one, and I think that's also kind of what like propelled me towards this one, because I do trust his reviews. Another book I want to read is Open Throat. It is right here. I want to read that book so bad. I have been saying I want to read it so badly, and for some reason I just haven't. It's very short, so I don't know why I haven't. It's about a queer mountain lion, so of course, like, it's gonna be short because you're in the queer mountain lion's brains. And so, brains, they have two, apparently. I have no idea what it's about besides him being a queer mountain lion, but I'm excited to find out. And then the last book of the 25 books I want to read in 2025 is The Wicked Bargain. I thought that Most Ardently was an amazing book, so I decided I need to read another book by this author, and that's why I chose The Wicked Bargain. It says, it is a Latinx pirate fantasy starring a trans-masculine non-binary teen with a mission of revenge, redemption, and revolution. And I saw so many people in the reviews saying that this book was so good. It has so many 5 stars. I'm excited to read it. I cannot wait. And those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I hope I can read them all. If I can't, I'm not going to hold it against myself, alright? But I do hope that I can read them all. I'm hoping by the end of the year we can go over this checklist and be like, check, check, check. I did it, bitch. So yeah. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to see more of me. And if you stayed till the end, please comment down the bread emoji for my sweater. And comment down below if you know any of these books. And if you've read them, tell me how you feel about them. And if you haven't, comment if you're going to put them in your 25 of 2025. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye!